Morning, and Morgan, to everybody. We are here now to talk about everything in bodywear. The new narrative, we will be, Jos and I, reinventing, rethinking, and recommunicating what bodywear actually means. Now, I want to introduce a special guest of mine today called Jos Berry. I'm sure many of you know Jos. She's a little bit of a guru in the intimate space. I actually met her over a decade ago. I was sitting in the audience and Jos was presenting and forecasting. She's the go-to for the future of intimates. So I've invited her here as our special guest. She's also a business partner. 10 years ago, we were looking at the future of intimates. Today, we're looking at the future of bodywear. Now, for us, bodywear is a fusion of intimates and the activewear space. Here we go. So Jos and I have come together to develop a bodywear file. This is a forecasting book for anyone that's brands, retailers, suppliers that are looking at the bodywear space and how to integrate it into their business model. You can find the bodywear file in the Bodywear forum, and if you haven't clocked it yet, we're just down there at the end of the hall with about 35 exhibitors. Some of them are sitting here today. We started our journey a year ago with Performance Days, and it's a growing category, and we're very excited about it. So if you're interested in looking at the file, come and find Jos in the Bodywear forum, and we will share it with you. This is a snapshot of what the bodywear file looks like on the right. So it's really creating a new way of interpreting activewear and intimates. And we wanted to lead this with material driven by the female agenda. Now, that doesn't mean that we are only developing product for women, but we wanted to soften it. As the activewear space can be quite masculine, we wanted to make it more feminine as a hybrid. So if you've not been to the Bodywear forum yet, we started with 900 fabric submissions, and we had to edit it down to 100. All recycled or conscious, otherwise it didn't make it to the forum. If you get the chance to come and have a look at some of these exquisite fabrics, you'll find Tony and May around there who will troubleshoot with you if you have any questions. Otherwise, you can also find all of the fabrics that have been selected on the loop. There's a QR code here. Otherwise, you can find everything online with that QR code, or you can search Performance Days The Loop. If you're not familiar with the loop, you can click on the QR code, takes you to the fabric and the supplier, and you can also find them at the show today. So it's a great starting point if you're looking to develop bodywear, to check out the forum or download all the fabrics on the loop. We're actually here with Sean today. I don't know if you've clocked him on stage. Jos rescued him on the way up here. The reason we want to talk about Sean is because in the bodywear category, we're very much celebrating natural fibers, combining it with performance fibers. So this is game-changing that the industry is moving in this way, and we want to make it a memorable point for everybody sitting here. So bodywear is, for the activewear space, it's about subdividing the base layer. For the intimates market, those that are here with your underwear hats on, we've looked at creating bodywear into an on-skin category, and this is how we've segmented it. So bodywear includes underwear, swimwear, shapewear, we would like to say activewear on skin, and the 24-hour wardrobe, which is a very progressive category. We see it as a on-the-go, on-the-move travel wardrobe, where we're seeing more of these stretch fabrics enter into a more fluid category. So accessories is where we're going to end before I introduce Jos. So I'm going to start by just talking through the key highlights that you'll find in the forum. So for underwear, we are focused on natural fibers. The reason being, underwear you can't upcycle, right? So we're focused on biodegradability here. Some new fibers have really hit the forum since we started a year ago. Hemp is game-changing, and we've brought that into the underwear space. Bamboo lyocell. Solucell is a Supima cotton, and it's really fascinating to see that that's being developed with a 4-way stretch now. C-Cell is seaweed-derived, and Model blends. So this is kind of what we're celebrating in the underwear space today. Our two hero fabrics in this category, I'd say, are Pointel. Now, Pointel textiles and textures are having a moment. So what's interesting about Pointel, you see this in brands like Cuckoo Intimates or Alexander Clementine. They are now developing Pointel with recovery and adaptive fit. So it's really game-changing for the space that we're playing in. I've referenced some of the suppliers here, so if you're interested in these categories, do have a look. And the most important thing is it's comfortable. Underwear has to be, but it also needs to feel and look good. So we've categorized customizable meshes and lace effects. So shiny yarns like silver yarn, we've also highlighted within the underwear section. We don't only want these fabrics to be natural, but we want them to perform. So we've also made sure that we're looking at fibers that are antibacterial or odor preventing, key for underwear. Now this one is a little bit distracting. So swimwear, we wanted to make sure we've got a good balance in here. So next gen swim for us in this, at this show in Bodywear is focusing on adaptable stretch. Lycra Adapter developed an incredible fabric, or they developed a fiber working with mills to create an incredible fabric for 4-way stretch. Now we're seeing seamless circular knit enter the swimwear market. So that is game-changing. For those that don't know, Santoni have developed like a fine knit gauge for swim. So we're seeing seamless enter swimwear. And I can see Teflon on the front row there. So I know you have a selection of swim coming through to your category. I'm actually wearing a little bit of Teflon today. I think 50% wool, otherwise a nice cocktail of yarns that actually make it stretch and comfortable on the go. So back to swim. So what I found out today from Teflon is you can actually integrate into the yarn mosquito repellent, anti-sunblock, and all the other yummy stuff that we need for swim. So if you don't think we can do seamless in swim, we actually can now, which is exciting. And there's a bit of a contrast to that. We've also built into the forum 3D knitted terry effects. So we're bringing loungewear into swim, which is crazy. More comfortable, juicy couture, but in the swimwear space. And again, there's another contrast of fabrics that are entering the swim space. JY have developed an Aerotech perforated blend, which is quick dry. So super sexy and suitable for transitioning from water to workout. So swimwear is more active and more comfortable to wear. Next category is shapewear. Now here I don't know if any of you have caught, but Skims are creating quite a riot in the market at the moment. I shouldn't say it, but did anybody see the Bush collection? Yeah. So Skims have now developed a collection that has hair in underwear. Madness. I mean, it makes us all look. Apparently, it's sold out in seconds, but who knows? So we're not going to talk about that for much longer, but we're going to focus on shapewear being, again, a part of the 24-hour wardrobe. So the most important thing that we've identified in shapewear is it needs to perform, but actually we want to show it off now. It should be worn to be seen. So there is an incredible fabric that's made out of light reflecting yarns. And you can see how beautiful shapewear can really be. The other key takeaway here is we want our shapewear to be cooling, because if we're not wearing it to be seen, we want to hide it under layers. So there is a new technology called ice skin, which is great for cooling. And we've also come across symbio weaving. Don't know if anybody has heard of this, but biorhythmic zoning for targeted support. So obviously we want our shapewear to look good. We want it to be cooling so that we're comfortable, but we also want it to control in the areas we want to control. So that's where the biorhythmic zoning kicks in. I have a few more categories before I will announce my special guest. So activewear on skin. We consider that as a category that we want to perform, but we're trying to bring in new natural fibers. So there is a very clever technology here on the left called Outlast. If you haven't seen it yet, they're here at the show. They've developed a natural wax that is used for thermal regulating. It's a phase change material, so it balances your body temperature. Incredible. They were actually our award winner for our last season. And what's really exciting about the technology is you don't just apply it with heat, but it's also available in fiber form, so it can be knitted. And then the other kind of key takeaway in our on-skin category is natural dyeing. So algae dye, I think one of the game changers in brands at the moment, even though they're a small brand, is Organic Basics. So they're using this in a very fashionable way. But we're really talking about natural dyeing with certified toxin-free microorganisms. So it's better for active if we're bringing in the natural fibers. The 24-hour wardrobe. I'd like to say that Jos is probably one of the pioneers for this. So our takeaways here in the forum are hemp is having a party with us right now. We're building hemp lyocell into that category. Why? Because it's hypoallergenic and it's super comfortable. I came across a brand recently called Akabada, who've developed a CBD-infused fabric. I'm not the expert on this, but it's used actually to promote recovery and reduce inflammation. So great on the go. And then the other two kind of key takeaways here are we're now using AI-powered intelligence in knit technology. So if you want to do a bit more digging on that, Lumen Grid Tech Fabrics is the way forward in knit, where AI is taking shape. And I wanted to mention Positive Materials, purely because they are doing some incredible things in Smart Cell and C-Cell at the moment for this particular category. Last one from me is accessories. So it's the thing that we always forget about, or it's not the top of our agenda. In the Bodywear Forum, we are focusing on smart and adaptive accessories. You can create a full packaging concept. If you come over, you can see a full supplier for biodegradable packaging. But the most important takeaway here is if you have missed it, just as you enter, there is a company, UK-based, called Rion Labs. They have developed, with their technology, a collaboration with Stretchline, which is an elastic supplier. Incredible technology. It's a new dynamic bra strap technology, and it combines. So Rion they have a reactive superpolymer that dampens movement. And they've collaborated with an elastic supplier to create a more durable elastic for the intimate space, which is game-changing. So they have won the Innovation Award for Performance Days for this show. They're definitely ones to watch. Lastly, Stretchline have also developed a cooling underwire casing. Now, for the women in the room, we all need some of that. So it's a Fortitube. It's what you use under your bras, and it's a collaboration with Burr. So, like me, if you're wearing something woolly, that kind of technology is very, very, very comfortable and one to watch there in the bodywear section. So that's our roundup. If there's any questions, come find us. Jos is here to talk about why bodywear and why now.
Hello. Oh, that helps. Hello, all. Now, I was going around the world. Oh, this is interesting. You have changed the order. Where is my beginning? No, that's not the beginning. No, it's not. You took the first slide away. Okay. What was we fall immediately in a problem area, actually, because I'm coming out of the lingerie industry, and I love lingerie because it is the only fashion category where women really can do whatever they want because it's hidden, and it is incredibly influenced by personal likes and not likes. It is an incredibly area for emotion, for pleasure, for sensuality. And in that area, there are a couple of problems at the moment. After COVID, we have seen that comfort became the only factor that made things sell. Now, that was quite good for a lot of people. For instance, Soft Stretch from Chantel was then born, and it was fantastic. They rescued the market leader in France from a very sad end, because it was a very, very difficult industry. Because don't forget, in the lingerie industry, the number one item that everybody is counting on for turnover and survival is a bra. The bra is the motor of the lingerie industry. And what was happening as well, after COVID, we saw a new generation and they called it the no bra movement. Now that put a whole industry, the lingerie industry is quite big, into problems. What are we seeing? Do women not like bras anymore? Happily, we are looking around, and what we saw that in the element of COVID and in the element of comfort and discovering your own personality very often, because we were surrounded by one thing, and that was our own family very often. Comfort and our feeling of wellness was the most important thing. And what did we see after that? That a whole generation was not used to the laces, the embroideries, the typical things that made a bra world successful. Now that's what we started to analyze this, and we said, but there is an area that is fantastically successful, and that is technology, which is for a big part based on activewear. And how can we now, as an industry, adopt that into our own world so that our products, our developments, our investments are more logical to what women want. So my almost 45 years in lingerie are based on actually researching what women want, because that's my only thing. So bodywear for me is looking, does that correspond with modern women? And perhaps not, because we are all, and I'm a very good example, we're getting older. And we're getting also, the morphology is changing. So in the underwear business, there are very specific areas which are important. And here this fair, I mean, that's a fantastic fair. Everything is changing here. And in the underwear business, that there's an urgency to change, because otherwise our beautiful laces and our beautiful, this delightful lightness is disappearing. So there's an enormous urgency to change there. And that came to me when I visited this fair for the first time, March a year ago. I thought, what is this? Fantastic, an enormous noise of innovation, incredible innovation here, everywhere, but no mentioning of women. And women, after all, also in the active or in the yoga or in the relax industry, are the biggest market. So that was weird. I found that a very, very specifically weird situation here. I mean, everything for men, and they are going outside, and everything on the mountain, off the mountain, on the bike, on the boat, everything for them. But nothing for us, we women in this comfort. So there, together with Nicole, I said, we have to do something. We talked with Marco Weichert, and we said we would like to have a bodywear sector here. We want to talk about change which is women-related. And women have another morphology, but also another system of heat circulation and thermocirculation. That's what here. This is Shaun the sheep. Because despite this enormous avalanche of enormous technology, which is going in all directions from, it regulates more or less everything, there is something women also like very much from their basis, since the golden ages, very much a little bit focused on fashion and fashion trend, but in the basis of a woman is an enormous need for naturalness, for natural comfort, for a natural feeling, for also the protection of the species. That's we. We are born like that. It is part of our being. We also want to be different. We don't want to be the same. I mean, a man is finding it quite normal to wear exactly that what his heroes are wearing. Exactly the same brand, same shoes, same colors. That's how you sit on a bike. And to change that is not the priority for women. It's a priority to be themselves, to adapt. So what is also so nice about this whole industry that is so fantastically booming, it is that all those developments, all those technical developments are extraordinarily interesting because it allows you to do a lot, and a lot if you also follow the female agenda. Because that female agenda is based on better, perhaps more, and we have to learn not to want that anymore. We have to live longer with our stuff, and we see that this material evolution also in the female wardrobe, in that bodywear wardrobe, allows upgrading, where we have seen in our market of lingerie a gradual downgrading and price competition, which is always called, it is all the Asian production. You know, there's that sort of mantra going on. But we now see, and especially led for a big part by my friends young friends in China, thank you very much. I just come back from Shanghai. Technology is allowing us to make the most beautiful garments. And every woman likes that T-shirt to be white, also from the family, to stay white. And this timeless basics, we see them upgrading to a higher level. That's ideal. For me as a designer, that's an ideal situation. That consumer has changed dramatically. She is not the same, but because that woman who was so singular in her needs and in her wants, and she is now much more sporty. She wants, especially since COVID, that her garments move with her. And moving is not only stretch, moving is also adapting to her different lifestyles. This whole lifestyle situation is incredible. That changes. That is not the same for me, who has been through major changes in lifestyle. I mean, lifestyle changes are already one of the most dramatic, and also one of the most painful for a lot of people's changes in women's lives. Very successful also for the turnover of the lingerie industry is divorce. Divorce has immediately peaked for a big part lingerie sales. And now, but there are so many lifestyles which are so directly related to women's personal emotions, how you feel, how you feel confident. So what we try now to do is to say to our industry, of the whole industry, actually, if I'm looking at Lululemon and I look at the leggings and where the leggings is appearing, actually they appear on the street. She is wearing that fantastic comfort 24 hours a day. You can go into your bed with it, you can do your yoga with it, you can hype it up with beautiful accessories, and you become fantastic. There is a sort of simplicity which is hidden, actually, if you are here behind all this technology. But women are more practical. They don't want everything explained in terms of technology. They want it to be visual. They want it to be in shops. And there we have a problem. In lingerie in general, that has become such an e-commerce driven situation. More than 50% of all lingerie worldwide is bought online. It's very difficult to judge then a garment, the softness, the beauty. And we see now, thank you, and I'm very grateful for that, fantastic changes also in retail. How are you selling those new stories? And here's a little bit of example how we see that femininity now is entering into this active wear, or in this very, very sporty technological market. On the left side, you see that, it's on the left side. On the left side, a picture I took last week in Cannes, where I was from a shop where you see the most gorgeous but simple merchandise, but it's all cashmere blend. Denudé, a new brand in the world, cashmere, wool blends. People love it. It is fantastically successful. There in the middle is another garment, is another photo of a big change. That is Love Stories, a brand in Amsterdam. We all know, most of us know the owner, where they said, lingerie, sportwear, it's whatever wear. You can wear it the way you want it. All the comfort is there. And then on the right-hand side, a brand worldwide, Adidas, who suddenly, this photo I made in Shanghai last week, or the week before that, you can see suddenly there is fantastic differentiation going on in the way you put things together. And Adidas is suddenly mixing that very active, that very technological base layers and sport layers together, even with accessories. I find this very, very feminine. But how do you sell that? Now, the female agenda allows you also to do developments. I think that a lot of developments here are still very masculine. When I talk with my friends, my male friends, they love to hear about all those incredibly innovative developments for the technology, for the iPads, for their underwear, for the cycling wear, for their bikes. Oh my God, bikes, another thing. Women have another demand. It is comfort, it is elegance, it is feeling at ease, and that is a very important element. So those fabrics that are developing at the moment are here on this fair and also in her wardrobe are fantastically diversified. It is not only the technology you don't see, it is now also the technology on the surface of the fabrics. And that's an interesting idea. We see one of the, Nicole mentioned already, a sort of surface effect, a little bit like velour, a little bit like terry towel is coming back. And the fantastic developments happening. So on the right-hand side, you see a picture of a very famous golf brand, Omna Golf. And there we have the female part. They're daring to give even women who used to be dressed more or less like men when they did sport, not any longer. They have their own look, their own little things which are coming in. And that gives also this market a fantastic possibility, because there is also a need for visuality. I was in last week in Oysho. I was the week for in Alo Yoga and in Lululemon. And sorry guys, but everything looks the same now again. It was active wear that was bringing something new, and suddenly all those leggings and all those tops, they happen to be all plain. So what we see now in influence, especially influenced by women, we see fantastically interesting developments on the surface of the fabrics. They stay technical, they stay comfortable, they stay adapted to all kinds of different activities, but they also look different. We talk here about, on the left-hand side, Boselli, with a whole range of gorgeous, couture-ready surface interest, really bubbles, fantastic development of jacquard. In the middle, a very good example of course, of knitting, of Rachel knitting. And on the right-hand side, Osho, who is coming now with a very interesting a fish, a menswear, always a menswear pattern, a little bit tweedy, to break that monotone element. The lace industry is one of the driving powers of lingerie. And they have difficulty to adapt, but it will come. The first signals are there of a lace industry who is starting to experiment with new technologies, with new hybrid variations of their jacquard machines. There are fantastic developments happening. we cannot see them here, but I'm sure that that will come. We will see that that's an industry which is also allowing us to bring all kind of newness. We see especially into the seam-free industry, Teflon and is a good example that there is already a lacy development happening and going forward. And then the other element in this whole fashion development of the influence of female in this industry, we would think we are now going to have every season of the colors. And what we see now is that color has now become almost a handwriting. It's not a seasonal change anymore. It's an adopted change of to underline brand and brand development, and especially has an influence in how you wear things together. The most exciting element for as women is, of course, that is all those beautifying adaptations of fibers. We see enormous cosmetic properties on the rise. Here you are dancing, you become more beautiful, you become more limber, you become, everything is improving, and at the same time, it is that all that cosmetic movement is fantastic. On this forum here, Umar Phil is one of the heroes. When we talk about shapewear, we are far from there. I mean, there is shaping technology, but shapewear for us women, we do not want like a big in a corset or having breaking underpants or corset. What we now see is that the whole industry of stretch is developing and is trying to make that more beautifying. Some of the shapewear you almost can wear visual, and it's especially people like Brugnoli, for instance, with their fantastic developments already years ago from their knits. You all know them, or perhaps not, in the famous swimsuit of RS, where you put a swimsuit on and you think, oops, that looks good. Now that is that idea of firming, that idea of a firming element on your body is important. But I said lace is an add-on feminizer, and we see a lot of jacquards happening, where then, and there is again the knitwear industry fantastic, where engineering, keep engineering on your agenda. It's a very important element. These are examples from, on the right-hand side, from Wolford, a grandmaster in engineering, but on the left-hand side, Han Gang, a Chinese lace maker, very forward in its investment in new technology. Then we are ending almost at the end, but we also see, and that is very interesting, one of the biggest problems of the industry, and also creating a lot of problems in ecology, is the enormous amount of stuff. And we see a trend here, and that is, women love that a lot. We see a trend into a minimization of the SKUs. So here we go, less is more. We see that already happening. And one of my favorite shops then to look at, you see that is typically, if you shop in China, you see all kind of new shop concepts. And in the middle is a shop you have to put that high on your agenda. That is Banana Inn. Banana Inn has taken the lead in everything that is sold in Banana in China. It's a Chinese brand with a lot of shops and also online. You can see it online. Everything they sell is explained for its functionality, its content, what it does for you, how it is made. And that is, of course, that is interesting. Then what we also seeing that in selling, how you sell it, it cannot be only technology, it is also very much comfort and the link with cultural events. We saw that most interesting way to escape of the enormous similarity of products is to hang it up to events like run clubs, like festivals. For instance, this was a very good example of Sarda, who met a festival in Wonderland in Belgium, made a collaboration. And that is, I'm now entering back to my sheep. And my belief that on this fair, what you also have to take very seriously, that in the developments for women to get garments close to their body, the need and the enthusiasm for natural fibers will grow in the next coming periods dramatically. I have Sean to tell the story. You have seen already how merino wool is almost driving Uniqlo. It's enormous. It's a giant. Also cashmere. And here we are coming out. I started in the bra industry. I end up with my bra industry here with a cup. That cup was always for me. I saw in my worst dreams a whale on the beach, and when we opened his stomach, it was filled with polyurethane cups. Now this is the first believable cup I have seen from Mühlmeier. Fantastic. It's wool and hemp. It's really soft. So here again, that will allow us to move forward. Of course, completely biodegradable as well. What happens with my thing? Here we go. Okay, last remark, last message from me. In bodywear for females, tech gives it power. But don't forget decoration. Decoration gives its bodywear, gives soul. So I believe strongly in knit technology, surface technology, and also a lot of developments in how prints are developed. A lot of jacquards. Unitex has developed a very interesting jacquard. Boselli has very interesting jacquards in a machine which are adaptable to personal use. The big question now is, how do you sell those two things together? And that is where uniqueness, where new brands can be born, and that is where we, Nicole and I, have our little mission together. How do you make sure that the beauty of the past and the enormity of solutions of the future are meeting each other in what we women dream of is the most perfect and delightful to wear a bodywear. Thank you.
Now the good news, Joss, no one's asked you a virtual question. The people who aren't familiar with it, we're using Slido at the moment. If you don't know what Slido is, go to the website sli.do and dial in the 7-digit code. So you can ask questions anonymously, or, and this is the worry about having Charles in the audience, he comes up to people he knows if we don't get questions offered by the audience. Don't I, Tony? So does anyone want to ask? You have two of the most sensible thinkers who have seen the full spectrum of what's happening in contour at the moment. So you can either challenge them, you can agree with them, you can extend their thinking, or if you're stuck, ask them a genuine question, because they might well have the solution. If you're prepared to do it publicly, attract me and I'll give you the audience. The other thing is that I'm going to make sure these two hang around after the presentation if you want a personal one-to-one chat with them. If you need to go somewhere straight after this presentation, they hang out at Bodywear, all the way down to the other end of the hall, the area on your right. It's a really good area. So Charles is filling because no one's asking questions. And Tony is really starting to regret sitting next to where I'm standing, because I will throw the microphone under his nose. Or is everyone really happy with that? no one is asking why we have the sheep on stage.
I can answer that.
Hi, hello. So I arrived a little late. I don't know if they speak about it before, but in the they speak a lot about performance and yes, wellness and style, but it's also important as a for women the impact that the materials have in themselves. For example, you speak a lot about sport, you speak about polyester and polyamide. They have also inky. I'm looking for the word in English. Yes, is not so much. It's about energetically impact of the materials in them in themselves. Is if it's something that women in general think about it, or is something that I think about it. I just want to know if it's a tendency, if it's something that in the development have attention. Okay, maybe you can focus more on natural materials because it's something that people are looking for. Or if it's something that probably until now is not so important. It's more important aesthetic and performance. And the impact of the materials is something that probably is not so important. I just want to know if it's something that comes in the calendar in the next years, or maybe we still need to wait a little more. Thank you.
Now, in my world, a lot of people, a lot of discussions, and a lot of also on in webcast. Especially, I'm always looking at that very famous one, a diary of a what is it called? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we lost it. Now, a lot of research is done on the impact, indeed, of oil-based, petrol-based fibers on health. How it has the influences of temperature of polyester on your body, what it does to your organs. There's a lot done about research done about all those micronylons, etc. And I think that I don't want to make it a dramatic statement here, but I think that is one of the reasons that Sean the sheep. And natural fibers, it also goes for cotton, are slowly but surely making impact also especially in the women's underwear market. And there we see then this fantastic technology everywhere that blends, and the blending and the whole yarn developments and also of finishing developments can do wonders there. I think. Looking at this industry, I'm confident that people are quite aware of health issues as well.
Just to add to that, a wise man once told me, Charles, we were talking about having a broader conversation about sustainability in general and what the consumer wants. And they obviously they want something that looks good, they want something that feels good, they look at price point, but then sustainability is probably the fourth pillar when we look at the statistics of today. So just to...
Yeah, well, I would say for women it's health as well, enormously. Yeah.
Sorry. Because all these materials as hormones are something important, really important, because we change naturally a lot. And all these materials, in my point of view, they impact our system. I think especially for women, the impact of the materials that we are using, and if you see in general as mental health, can be related, this mental health statement in the world with the materials that we are using in the past years? I don't know, but I guess the studies, they demonstrate something.
The podcast, the webcast to follow, it's called The Diary of a CEO. You have to look it up because it is there.
Stephen Bartlett.
Stephen, yeah. I mean, incredible. He talks an enormous about our whole bionome with all kinds of scientists, and and how the outside, what we eat, what we do, what we wear, and how that influences it. And I think in this moment there will be from now on there will be a lot of knowledge available, and please that will have an influence. That is for sure.
I'm going to chuck in some information. All of those people who think cotton is good for you, organic cotton is still less than 2% of the market. Regular cotton is about 1/3 petrochemical. Just bear that in mind. If you then clean it, if you then dye it, if you then finish it with synthetics, it's not good. Cotton is responsible for 24% of the world's herbicides, 11% of the world's pesticides. Cotton is not as pure as you think it is, says Charles. Wool is fantastic. Wool is the most amazing material out.
We wanted to mention the reason why Sean is here, actually, because we haven't yet. We stole it from Sudvola, and they're developing some incredible wool blends, so definitely one to watch.
When you say stole it, are you holding it to ransom?
Nah, we didn't steal it.
We did.
They allowed us because they're very convinced that wool is a fantastic, making a fantastic comeback.
And Charles is filling because I'm looking for questions. Here's your opportunity. You are very welcome to pick on them individually because, you know, it might be a more detailed question about something you want to develop. But I'm not seeing any hands go up. So can I ask us once again to show our appreciation for Joss and Nicole?